Survivor is returning to Africa in one of the most remote locations ever, where temptation is the name of the game.
Earth's last Eden.
Both incredible beauty and extreme danger abound in this stunning landscape.
Somebody is going to get hurt by an animal or by a dumb move, and it could be this season.
From the professional video game player to the Olympic gold medalist to the pinup model, we'll introduce you to the 18 castaways vying to become sole survivor.
They gotta watch out because I'm about to win.
I will be the oldest winner yet.
I could throw down with the best of them.
This game was invented for me.
Plus, we'll reveal your first look at this season's Tribal Council and the details behind this incredible immunity challenge. This is Survivor Gabon Preview.
Survivor's ready. Go!
Hey everyone, welcome to Survivor Gabon Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow, winner of Survivor Fans vs. Favorites. We're here at the exotic Los Angeles Zoo. And over the next hour, we're going to give you all the dirt on the exciting new season. From all the crazy twists to the intense challenges to the wacky contestants. And this time around, the location is so remote that most of us here in the States aren't even sure how to correctly pronounce the name of the country. Gabon, Gabon, who knows?
Some people say Gabon, some people say Gabon, the French say Gabon. So I'm going with the French, only I'm adding the N, Gabon. I'm from Kansas. I am not claiming to be right. In fact, I am typically wrong. We've wanted to come back to Africa since we were here the first time because it's just so majestic. The problem's been finding the right location, and we've been sending scouts out, and we literally stumbled upon this place. I had never heard of Gabon, no idea where it was.
It's such a spectacular landscape, and you've got the mix of open grasslands and forest, and you've got some topography. It's a really beautiful, photogenic wilderness.
The former French colony of Gabon remains one of the hidden jewels of the Western Africa coast. And the rugged beauty of this country inspired the name of the new season, Earth's Last Eden.
Gabon is representative of a place that has not been touched. You can tell there's not been much out here except for animals for a long time.
The abundant wildlife of Gabon is sure to play a big part in Survivor.
There are 60,000 forest elephants in Gabon, there are 20,000 gorillas, there are 25,000 chimps. Just in this one spot where most of the filming is going to happen, you've got about half the biodiversity of the Congo Basin.
From a production point of view, we're hoping, obviously, that nobody gets hurt. But I'd be lying if I said that we wouldn't appreciate an elephant walking through the shot once in a while. Exile Island has an interesting twist this season where you're going to have two choices when you go to Exile. You'll have the opportunity to take a clue that will lead you to finding a hidden immunity idol, or you can take comfort, and it's represented by an apple and some pillows and maybe a hammock and some wood. I hope somebody is dumb enough to get a shot at immunity, which will guarantee they're safe in the game, and they choose an apple.
Survivor Gabon is the first time the show will be broadcast in high def.
It's Africa. You know, Africa is all about color. It's all about exotic animals, amazing landscapes.
Of course, HD does raise some concerns.
You take wrinkles like these, which are, you know, pretty good. You put them on HD, man, there are little families living down in there. These are deep, deep crevices now. You could ride trucks through there. Head out.
Even though HD is big news for this season of the show, it isn't the biggest story. Earlier this year, there were lots of reports about the production problems plaguing Survivor Gabon.
We've had shipping delays with our timber. We've had all sorts of things be delayed. It was one thing after another. If you get any kind of a delay, there's no catching up. Our show starts on the day it's supposed to start. We never push, ever.
The military of Gabon came to the aid of production.
There are some old roads that have been eroded over the years by the rainfall here. And so the military engineers were brought in here to restore some of those old roads, to replace some of the bridges.
But all the trouble is worth it, as Survivor helps Gabon step into the spotlight and brings both tourism and conservation efforts to this incredible land.
Survivor obviously has a much different audience to the people who are passionate about nature that watch National Geographic. So it's going to get the name out.
They're just now opening up the notion of tourism, which is why they wanted us here.
Now it's time to meet some of the contestants who hope to leave Gabon $1 million richer.
I'm hoping some of our big characters will last. If they do, we'll be all right. If we lose our big characters early, we could be in trouble.
One of the most notable characters this season is also the oldest contestant, Jillian, but she doesn't plan on sharing her age with her tribe.
I'm 61, but nobody's going to know that for a long time because I don't want them thinking I'm an old woman.
This well-traveled grandmother of 4 is a huge Survivor fan. She's applied for almost every season.
I'm from South Africa. When I saw it was Africa, I just stood on my couch and shrieked and cried and laughed and jumped. I said, I can't believe it. It's Africa. I'm going back to my land to play this awesome, awesome game. I'm a psych nurse, so I've been kind of really assessing just body movements and what they read, how they eat. But as usual, there's this great bunch of beautiful bodies, you know, and then you got me.
As likable as she is, Survivor's about getting rid of people. And she'll give them a reason to get rid of her because she's older. And it's not fair, but it is how it goes.
They gotta watch out because I'm about to win. I mean, that's all I can say.
25-year-old Danny currently works as a maintenance man, but music is his passion.
I produce beats and record songs. I got a studio at home. Hopefully, I can get into the music industry, either producing or rapping or writing, anything. I just need a check, man. Sign me up.
Danny, who's adopted the nickname GC because we have another guy named Dan, is a fence sitter for me. I'm not sure.
When I was younger, my mom had went to prison for a while, and then when she came home, she was trying to get on her feet and stuff like that.
During that time, Danny's family was homeless, but some of those struggles might come in handy on Survivor.
When I was 17, my mom sent me to a boot camp for 6 months. I had to stay there. No family, no friends, no visitors. But it was cool because it taught me a lot about myself, and it made me grow up real quick, turn me into a man.
I'm just driven by, you know, being #1.
25-year-old Jackie has spent the last few years becoming a top medical device salesperson.
I've been working my butt off trying to climb the corporate ladder. I've got about 5 promotions in the last 3 years, and I work just about like 80 hours a week at it. It's really, really hardcore. Usually I have like this endless energy, and that might annoy some of these people already kind of, you know, scoping them out. So I'm gonna really try to take a step back.
I think Jackie is probably going to play a really smart game. And she's the type of person, if you let her get deep, she could be a real threat.
I'm a huge fan. I've watched every episode, and I watch them live. It's like the one show that I won't wait for TiVo. Like, I watch it Thursday night, 8 p.m.
As a runner of many marathons, openly gay corporate attorney Charlie brings some stamina to the game.
When I was in high school, I was obese with acne, and I was a closeted, awkward teen, and I started running just to lose weight, and then like after a while, running just got repetitive.
And this 29-year-old native New Yorker also hopes his personality will take him far.
I don't intend, and I don't expect, and I've never have been the most popular kid in the group. Not everyone's gonna like me, but I hope that a good majority do, and because I think that's really important in this game, and people discount that aspect a lot of the time.
I think Charlie is really sharp. Wouldn't surprise me for him to be a part of a very good alliance and be keeping tabs on it at all times and betray some people when he needs to. I look for Charlie to go deep.
Later in the show, we've got your first look at a challenge you'll see this season in Gabon. But up next, her name's Sugar, but just how sweet is she?
I'm gonna act too stupid to lie, maybe.
You'll find out. Plus,
I'm gonna try and make myself as unthreatening as possible.
meet the photographer, the professional gamer, and the boxer looking to take the prize. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Survivor Gabon Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow, and we're here at the Los Angeles Zoo. Now let's meet some more of the castaways, including one guy with a pretty cool job. He knows all about playing to win.
As a job, I'm a professional gamer, professional video gamer, and I'm also a college student. Survivor is the ultimate game to me. I feel like I've been preparing my whole life playing video games to take it to the next level, which is Survivor. I do very well under pressure, So you're not gonna find me freaking out here. Not a chance.
Even though this 22-year-old climbed Mount Fuji in Japan, he might not share that feat with his tribe.
I want to be seen as a non-physical threat. It is true, because I am the smallest guy out here. I'm the underdog, and everybody always roots for the underdog, no matter what.
Ken is a guy that when Lynn, our casting director, brought him into the casting room, I literally put my hand on her forehead and said, "Do you have a temperature?" And he grew on me and grew on me and grew on me to the point where he is one of my favorites. I love this kid.
You can't underestimate anybody in the game Survivor. And I'm sure I am underestimated right now, and I'm going to use that to my advantage.
I've always done crazy things.
After moving out on her own at age 16, Michelle brings quite a bit of life experience into the game. She also has something in common with me, boxing.
Started boxing when I was like 18. It's not totally taboo. I definitely think that it intimidates people a little bit. I feel like I've lived like a lot of mini lives. Like I moved to Hawaii, got married, like I've seen and done a lot for my age, and I'm sure that my competitors don't expect that.
This now divorced 24-year-old doesn't plan on flirting, at least not on purpose.
I'm gonna be nice and friendly to everyone, which I always am, and sometimes that's mistaken for flirting, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, those muscles are nice.
It seems to me that Michelle is the type of person who's used to having people bring her into a group. Hey, Michelle, come hang with us. That doesn't work on Survivor. As much as I'd like to see her last, it doesn't look good for her.
I'll have fun running other people over.
Photographer Ace comes from a wealthy background and previously made his living as a salesman. But people in the game might not know that.
It's sort of liability. I'm going to try and make myself as unthreatening as possible. We're not here to make friends and influence people. We're here to $1 million, and I intend to win. Anybody that's like, I'm here because I have such a nice personality. I'm a good person. You need to leave.
He's got this kind of Bond, James Bond sort of thing about him. The question is, can he back it up? I don't think Ace knows any other way to play other than full speed, so I assume he's going to come out and take over.
I'm gonna act too stupid to lie, maybe.
But pinup model and actress Jessica, aka Sugar, is already planning on lying.
Mostly I'm an actress, but I'm not telling anybody on the island that because they might think I'm lying to them.
Sugar's had roles on The Gilmore Girls and Angel, but her heart remains in the past.
I have always loved the 50s. I wish it was the 50s. I got my nickname Sugar from a 50s diner in San Francisco. Then it became my pinup handle when I started doing pinup. I think I'm here for comic relief because I'm not very physical, and I'm sure it's going to be hilarious to watch me fall and scream and everything.
Of course, life hasn't been all fun and games for this bubbly blonde.
My dad passed away like 7 months ago, so it's still fresh. I brought him with me. He's my luxury item. I brought him in a little necklace because he's never been to Africa either, and he loves to travel.
If she has somebody she can go to, I think she's a reliable vote, and she could go, you know, maybe to the jury, but she won't make it deep. She won't make it to the end.
Coming up, what's tougher than being sent to tribal council? Building it. Jeff Probst reveals the hidden secrets of this amazing set when Survivor Gabon preview returns here on TV Guide Network, America's TV headquarters. Welcome back to Survivor Gabon preview. I'm Parvati Shallow from the Cook Islands and Fans vs. Favorite seasons. In both of those locations, the production crew was able to build some truly incredible tribal councils. And of course, the talented Survivor Art Department has done it again in Gabon.
Well, this is the Tribal Council for Survivor Gabon. This is the entryway for the survivors, not a passageway that you want to make very often because you could be voted out of $1 million game. Tribal Council this year is based on some of the local culture. So all of these huts, which are all over the place, this is how they build huts out here. They have posts in here, and then they have mud. This was just mud that we dug up here. We had a lot of locals helping us do it. The doors that you'll see on all of these are doors that we got actually from a village here. We had to negotiate to get them, but we did. And the fun story about these thatch tops is getting this grass here would seem like we're in a huge field full of grass. You'd think this would be very easy, but the grass is actually not tall enough, and it was a long ordeal. We got it from some pygmies. One point, the grass got bumped off of the train because there was a dead guy that needed the spot. And this is where the survivors sit. There's a common complaint every season on Survivor, and that is no padding for the butt of the survivors. We don't care, is the truth. Nobody really wants to sit here. The fire's hot, and you got some idiot over there asking questions. This is this season's snuffer, clearly based on an animal in the wild. And the main thing about a snuffer is, will it do the job it's supposed to do? I have complete faith this will snuff this torch with one swoop down. And you get a nice puff of smoke as the person walks off. This is the area where all the action happens. This is the voting area, and if you've seen these tours before, then you know that my favorite part of this is the fact that we always position this so that just over the shoulder are the survivors, which means if you make big, broad strokes like, you know, C, H, R, there's somebody back there figuring out going, that's a C, and that's me. This is this season's pen. As you know, we always kind of base it on something. This one is based on ivory carvings. It's not real ivory. Based on that, we wouldn't do that. And you take the votes and you put them right in here, and then I read them. And because there was no actual reporter that came this season, I'm just going to vote the entire network out. That's it. You're done. Camera goes. Thank you. Follow the path. Pick it up, please. A little pace would help.
Later, we'll reveal the first immunity challenge of the season. It's unlike any you've ever seen. But straight ahead.
You know, so I'm sizing up a competition.
If I have to lie, I will. I'm here to win the money.
Find out how the personal trainer, the Olympic gold medalist, and the doctor plan to knock one another out of the game. There's more Survivor Gabon preview right after the break. Hi, welcome back to Survivor Gabon preview. I'm Parvati Shallow. We're here at the Los Angeles Zoo. And now we've got more of this season's castaways for you, starting with a woman who's already struck gold once as an Olympic athlete. But can she win big in this game?
It was a dream come true. So 2004 came around, trained hard, kicked ass, and I'm an Olympic gold medalist.
But Crystal from North Carolina has no intention of sharing this incredible achievement on Survivor.
Oh, hell no. I'm not telling anybody. If anything, I'm gonna lie and say I play basketball.
If she gives up the goods too early, she will be going home. She's just such a threat physically, so she's gonna have to play a really sophisticated game. I think she's up for it.
While she's in Gabon, Crystal will be thinking of her 8-year-old daughter, Destiny.
I'm definitely missing her right now, missing her 1,000,001 questions. You know, any other day I'd be like, Destiny, you're limited to 5 a day. And like now I could just use something from her. I don't want to be too much of like a go-getter. Even, you know, it's kind of hard to hide myself. Hell, I'm 6'3". I can't be behind the scenes all the time. But I'm going to be listening in and definitely being more aware. There's a few people already right now. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to write their name down so quickly.
I love the idea of just being out in a place that I'll probably never have another opportunity to be in and to really get to know people and to be challenged physically, mentally, and emotionally.
28-year-old Marcus brings quite a bit of experience to the game. He's a former rower, a triathlete, and also a doctor.
I'm sort of a type A kind of person, being a doctor, so I worry a little bit about being too patronizing in that situation or taking command.
Marcus was voted Georgia's hottest bachelor by Cosmo magazine in 2006 and plans on using his flirtatious charms on his tribe mates.
I mean, I'm single, so, you know, I got nothing else to do. I'd be more than happy to meet a couple of cute girls on the island. And, you know, it is Earth's last Eden, so I'll be Adam, she can be Eve, and see what goes on.
Obviously very smart, but I'm not sure that he has it in him to play this game the way you need to play. Marcus won't win.
I definitely want to change up the game a little bit.
Kelly, an Illinois salesperson and student, will also use her looks to her advantage.
Maybe a little flirting and teasing a little there, but that's just going to get me farther into the game. I've grown up with guys, so I have 3 brothers, so they taught me to be a strong individual. So that's awesome. I definitely have thought about how I want to play this game, but once I get there, it's going to be totally different because all these personalities, I can just say whatever I want right now, but when I get in the game, change 360, so I'm prepared.
Kelly, bless her heart, Kelly is our hot chick of the season, and she loves being the hot girl. She's ready to be hot whenever you need her to be, and that's kind of hot.
Maddie, a personal trainer from California, comes from a Hollywood family.
My grandfather, he's a movie actor. His name's James Whitmore, and then my grandmother, her name was Audra Lindley. She played a character with Mrs. Roper on Three's Company.
Maddie inherited a trust fund at 18, but lost it all within a few years.
Up until I was 23, I kind of was living kind of a fast life, partying a lot, doing drugs, screwing up, wasting money. I kind of cleaned up my act, sobered up a little bit, lost my money, and since then it's been a growing period. I actually live with my girlfriend back home. That's actually been concerning me, you know, because there's some beautiful people here, and it's gonna challenge me, man. Because I do love my girlfriend, man. I really do.
I would definitely keep Maddie in my alliance. He's athletic, and he's not going to do me any harm. I don't think he's going to betray me. So I think I'd take Maddie till the end. If Maddie's pulling the wool, Maddie could win.
I could throw down with the best of them.
Corinne from Los Angeles is so confident about her chances in the game that she quit her job in pharmaceutical sales.
When I asked for a leave of absence to do this show, I was told that I could take a permanent leave, but I could not take a leave of absence. So I left my job. I find it really annoying to sugarcoat anything. I never think about somebody's feelings before I say something. I frequently make fun of people.
Corinne is the bitch of this season, really. And that can be an affectionate term. I think Corinne likes that label. She seems to wear it pretty well.
I'm sort of a bully in that regard, I guess. So I guess I could be construed as bitchy, but it's more about, I just think whatever you are, you should own it. And I can't stand the overly sweet people.
But Corinne does have a sweet plan in mind if she wins the $1 million prize.
I plan on cashing it out into $1 bills and filling a massive tank and then just doing the backstroke.
Up next, ever wonder what it takes to create Survivor?
Survivor's not a normal show. It's not a normal experience.
Find out what goes on behind the camera to bring this awesome show to life. Survivor Gabon Preview will be right back here on TV Guide Network, America's TV headquarters. Welcome back to Survivor Gabon Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow, the winner of Survivor Fans vs. Favorites. Now, I've done the show twice, so I know how much work goes into producing such a massive show. Now we're going to take you behind the scenes so you can see how it all comes together every week.
Taking a story on Survivor from start to finish is a pretty interesting process.
All right, here we go.
You start with casting. Who are the people on the show? Then you bring them out there and you put them in this environment. And once they're out on the beach, there are producers who live out there basically with them. Very small crews, making split-second decisions about what to cover.
We interview them and, you know, we just ask what's going on and don't give anything away about the game.
So there's usually a ton of cameras on the beach, so they know exactly where to cover.
We shoot approximately 2,500 hours of footage, so every season we average about that.
When we go home at the end of the day, there's night segment producers that come out, so there's producers on the beach
24/7.
24 hours a day.
It's up to them to get it. If they don't get it, we don't have it. They do their job on the beach. Now we've shot the entire show.
Even before we're done shooting, we have editors back at home that the producers are communicating with and telling them, okay, here's what we can tell the audience that makes sense for why this person went away or why this happened.
Out here you're on the front lines, but most of the job is back in LA, putting everything together.
Once the stuff arrives back in Los Angeles, then they do a fuller logging process, actually watching every single tape.
You gotta log hours and hours and hours of footage. Our shooting ratio is 300 to 1. For every minute you see, we've shot 300 minutes.
And then it's handed off to the editors.
Our editors are amazing. We have a trust with them, and they have a trust with us, much like the contestants and just everything. There's a lot of trust on this show.
So it's about a 4-week process per show for them to go through all the footage and put it together into a final locked form.
And we try to incorporate what everybody thinks, what everybody knows, what we have on tape into making this 43-minute and 22-second show. And we try hard, and we hope you like it.
One of the most important areas of the show is the art department, who create the amazing tribal set, props, and challenge components that truly help make Survivor a standout series. This season, Survivor's art department kept busy trying to replicate the architecture, tribal art, and wild animals found in Gabon.
There's a fair bit here to feature too, you know, so of course the elephants here and the mandrills, and we have seen quite large snakes, as you can see there. They're about that big, you know.
We've got masks. We've got a container full of masks that we are using throughout the show, putting them up on post and all sorts of stuff. We've got a lot of masks that they import. We look at them, use them, we make our own designs off of them. The immunity idols come from a basic design of, you know, African art. From what I've seen, everyone is meticulously made. They've got the 18 different torches. They make them so good that everybody wants to take them home with them at the end of the show, you know. Tribal's always really cool because they build a small little village or a gigantic sunken ship. They make places for the cameraman, for all the lighting guys, for all the pyro guys. And in each one of those places, there actually are people working. This year's a little different. There's not quite as many big builds because it's been a challenging season, if you will, just getting stuff here.
One of the difficulties of doing Survivor is that you have to ship all of your stuff from one part of the world to another. So if you think about it, Gabon is not a place where you can come in and buy all the machinery you need. You have to ship everything.
Getting the supplies to Gabon wasn't the only setback for the art department. The introduction of HD to Survivor this season also brought up some major issues.
Oh my God, they're gonna see the duct tape that we used to be able to put on it.
Yeah, a little bit more attention to detail, I think, this season. You know, we're all sort of hit not the panic button, but concern button for sure.
We're not all that concerned about the HD. Our art department is the best in the business.
Everything's gotta be perfect, but we're up for that.
Coming up, we'll introduce more of the contestants, including the potty mouth mom, the physics teacher, and the self-proclaimed bully.
I've got a PhD in bullshit.
Find out how he plans to use it when Survivor Gabon Preview returns here on TV Guide Network, America's TV headquarters. The new wave of Survivor contestants definitely have favorite winners from seasons past, and a few just might channel their faves to win the game.
My favorite winner, I would say, would be Sandra Diaz. I think I can relate to her.
She played an awesome game, which is why she won the $1 million.
Yul Kwan is like my hero. I love that guy. I think I'd put him in my top 2 or 3 like heroes to be liked.
I like Yul. You know, he was a well-rounded player. Although I found out he was terribly short.
I really like her. I think he played it good. He didn't deceive people too much. He didn't lie too much. He was honest.
I like Tom Westerman because I thought he played a good game and he was all around.
This recent one, I like Poverty. I like how she kept it cool.
I like the naked guy from the first one. I mean, he had the right idea.
Stick around. There's more to come right after the break. Hey, welcome back to Survivor Gabon Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow here at the Los Angeles Zoo. Now it's time to meet the last few contestants, starting off with a guy who seems like he has no game at all.
No skills whatsoever, athletically, academically, socially, are going to help me in this game at all.
Wedding videographer Randy says he has never met a person who didn't eventually disappoint him.
I've been hurt a good bit in my life, and, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of therapy, you know, has made me realize that it's safer to keep my distance.
But Randy doesn't plan on playing a quiet game.
You know, because if I go down, I want to burn.
Randy is a favorite. We've never had anybody like Randy. If he can figure out social dynamics, maybe I better back up a little bit. Randy could be around for a while, and I hope he is. We need him.
This 49-year-old from Missouri claims to be something of a bully who has no time for religious people.
If they don't try to save me, it's not a pet peeve. It's fine.
Randy might have some issues with 24-year-old Paloma, who says faith is very important to her.
It's not something that's just going to surface all of a sudden because I'm in a game, and it's not going to be something that's going to be put under the blanket for a while because I'm in the game. It's something that's going to maintain itself like it has throughout my whole life.
I see her out here on the show, and I feel like she's starting to wither away a little bit. And that's usually a sign of somebody who's going to fade.
Paloma's been to Africa before. On a whim, she moved to Kenya and lived with the locals for 3 months.
Kenya was a huge experience in my life, and this is going to be another one.
And if she is the sole survivor, Paloma wants to return to Kenya.
I was working out in the Masai Mara with some of the village kids, and they don't really have a school. They have little sticks put up to make up like a little building. But so if I win the $1 million, I'll definitely build a school for them. That's one of my goals.
I must be the oldest fellow here. Everybody else is less than half my age. They don't have a large group of older people here.
At 58, Bob is the elder statesman of Survivor Gabon, but his profession should come in handy with his younger tribe mates.
During the wintertime, I teach school. I'm a high school physics teacher. It's a great job. I have great kids, and it's a great way to keep me busy in the wintertime.
What I like about Bob is that he's been a school teacher of high school kids for 20 years. And we got a lot of kids that are, you know, not that far removed from high school.
This Maine native and father of 3 built a cabin out of recycled materials and also worked as a tree climbing scientist. But he might keep these skills hidden from his tribe.
You got to stay under the radar. Anybody that stands out and is a threat sort of gets whacked right off quick.
What's going against Bob is his age. And if he becomes a physical liability, then he'll be toast.
This is the most selfish thing I have ever done for myself, literally. I'm not kidding you.
Susie, a part-time hairdresser and English teacher, comes from an immigrant family of crop workers.
I grew up with 5 brothers and 3 sisters, and my mom and dad didn't speak any English, so I think I was already from the beginning destined to struggle and fight my way through anything.
This 47-year-old left her husband of 25 years and young son Trent back home.
This is my baby. This is Trent. This is his favorite picture, and he picked it out. So then I said, okay, I'll put that one on it, but this is what he looks like now.
In addition to missing her family, Susie says her biggest struggle will be controlling her potty mouth.
I'm gonna try not to use the F-bomb so much because that's not a good example for kids, I realize that.
I think Susie is going to have to choose the right alliance if she's going to last.
A lot of my life in the past year has kind of led up to this moment.
Finally, meet Dan, who left his job as a lawyer prior to going on Survivor.
I didn't like who I became. I was working 70 hours a week. They were asking me for more. And although I found it a lot challenging, I was just burned out.
He appears to be a bright guy. He appears to have it all figured out. But then I listen to him and I think, I don't know if he does.
This 32-year-old from Boston is looking to win for his family.
I would love to win that $1 million for my parents. I grew up in a blue-collar family, and my dad was disabled when I was young. He was forced to retire, and my mother, who's a nurse, has worked her butt off.
But Dan admits there might be some potential pitfalls he'll have to avoid in the game.
Right? Yes, there's a lot of attractive women in this game. That's true. Purposely added to the game. Strategically, if I have to flirt, absolutely, why not? But you gotta be careful.
Still to come.
Our first immunity challenge is big and bad.
You can only see it here. We'll reveal the details of the first immunity challenge of Survivor Gabon.
Drivers ready, go!
Catch the action here on TV Guide Network, America's TV headquarters. Welcome back to Survivor Gabon Preview. I'm Parvati Shallow. The challenges in Cook Islands and on Fans vs. Favorites were brutal, and they seem to get tougher every year. Now we've got your sneak peek at one of the intense challenges you're going to see this season.
Most of the challenges this season are built into the landscape of Gabon. It's a unique landscape that we've never had before. These hills, valleys, great for running up, great for sliding down. We got canyons that we're building inside. We got lakes, we got streams. It's a great landscape for us. Our first immunity challenge is big and bad. In keeping with Last Eden, this is Temptation Valley. 9 players on each tribe, and 6 of them are tied together. They're wearing belts with ropes in between them, and they race through this obstacle course that we have. They're running down the hill. They charge through the swamp. They come up and over a tall A-frame. Then they start charging up a hill, 150 yards up a hill. They crawl under a set of fence posts. Over, under, over again. Then they charge up to the dig area where they will dig 3 bags of puzzle pieces. Down to a gate. They have to dig under the gate, get all 6 puzzle pieces and the players under, pass the puzzle pieces off to the 3 remaining players who will then have to assemble a long puzzle of their tribe flag.
Now that you know all the details, here's your very first look at the first immunity challenge of Survivor Gabon.
Drivers ready, go!
Well, that's it for Survivor Gabon preview. Be sure to tune in to CBS Thursdays at 8 p.m. for all the backstabbing and blindsiding, and to find out who will be the next sole survivor. I'm Parvati Shallow, and thanks to Los Angeles Zoo, and thanks to you for watching. See ya.